So let's say that that's not the case, right? There isn't something else in your life that is kind of taking up your mind or your focus of energy, right? And you have a steady job that you're used to, you love it, nothing else really is going on. And you're like, why am I not bringing my partner in? Many times it has everything to do with worthiness. And usually in a way that people don't recognize. Some people will come to me and they're like, oh, I have such good self-esteem. I really love myself. I have a lot of friends. Everybody loves me. And then I'm like, okay, what about showing the vulnerable parts of yourself to another human being? How are you with that? All of the things that you think are your flaws, showing that to another person. How are you doing with that? You feel comfortable there? Probably not. And even if they do feel comfortable doing that, there's probably and likely some form of guilt or shame around something that they identify as themselves. So usually these women, especially women who are a little bit on the older side, that is relevant, but in their mind it isn't, right? They're pushing 40. They haven't had a steady partner, and they definitely want to have children, and their biological clock is like petering out. It feels like, oh, I have this idea in my head that I can't have children after this point in life, or I didn't want to have children until after this point in life, and now that time has passed, and what do I do? There are certain things in this life that we're meant to experience or not meant to experience. So it could simply be that this person is not meant to have children at a young age, that maybe it is better for them to have children at an older age. They're more capable. They have more empathy for themselves and for others. Whereas like if they had a child when they were younger, they wouldn't have been a version of a parent that they would have liked themselves to be. So they had to wait to get to that place, unbeknownst to them. Or they have a very specific idea of what they want their partner to be. You've got to wait for that to come to you. You just have to be patient. It's okay to be picky. It's okay to be discerning. But people many times are very discerning and not patient. And then they try to control the circumstances and they try to find the person. It's like that haystack and needle idea that I was telling you about. Like you're looking in the wrong place. It isn't over there. They're not over there where you think they are. And a lot of times the idea that they might be too old or that they might be undesirable in some way because of their age or because of their history with relationships. Maybe they were married before and now they feel like nobody's going to want them because they were married. That's a you problem. You got to figure that out. You have to figure out a way to come to terms with the fact that that is part of who you are. Learn to, I wouldn't say necessarily learn to love it or even like it, but accept it and understand that, guess what? You're going to meet people that like things about you that you don't like about you. And I'm sure that there could be many people that you could point to where that's true. Somebody's like, oh man, you have the best laugh. And you're like, oh, I hate my laugh. And they are always trying to get you to laugh because they want to hear your laughs. And now in your head, you're like, well, are they doing that because they want to make fun of me every time that I laugh? Right? Like you can really mess up your energy about attraction when you do that to yourself, when you make these scenarios in your mind. And so if you have anything that's going on with you, like for instance, like I said, being too old or being married before, or even having kids before, maybe you had one kid with somebody else and now you've always wanted a big family. And so you have to do that with somebody else. And, oh, I have a kid. Nobody's going to want me because I have a kid. You are making it literally impossible for the universe to bring anybody to you because now you're looking for somebody who doesn't want a child. You're not letting yourself be open to the people who do want somebody with a child or are open to somebody that has a child. You're closing yourself off from everything that you want by thinking it's not possible.